the standard form of a quadratic equation must be in this nature: ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. That's the standard form of a quadratic equation: ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, where a, b, and c are all real numbers. Quadratic equations. So we can be able to move on to the higher root as quadratic equation. Shall we? A quadratic equation is a form of polynomial equation. A quadratic equation is a form of polynomial equation. Polynomial equation with the highest degree of 2 is a form of polynomial equation with the highest degree of 2, excluding negative powers. Excluding negative powers. Highest degree of 2, excluding negative powers. Full stop. It is also a univariate equation. Univariate equation. Univariate equation. Because only one unknown variable is to be determined. Next point. There are 3 parts of a quadratic equation. There are 3 parts of a quadratic equation. Number 1, we have the pure quadrat. Pure quadrat, open a bracket, ax squared. That's the form is written. Pure quadrat, ax squared. Number 2, we have the affected quadrat. Affected quadrat written as bx. And number 3, we have the constant c. Constant c or k can be used. So these are the 3 main parts of a quadratic equation. We have the ax squared, the bx, the c. It is also important we note that a must not be 0. For a quadratic equation, that value, that's the coefficient of the pure quadrat, must never be 0. Please take note of that, where a is not equal to 0. It's also important to note that a, b, and c are real numbers. Are real numbers. Very important to note that your coefficient of the pure quadrat, x squared, must not be 0. Alright, so what is now the standard form of quadratic equation? So the standard form of a quadratic equation must be in this nature: ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. That's the standard form of a quadratic equation. ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, where a, b, and c are all real numbers. A, b, and c are all real numbers. All right, let's see the methods for resolution of quadratic equations. Let's see the methods to apply. We can apply the method of factorization to solve a quadratic equation. We can as well apply the method of quadratic formula, the use of quadratic formula. We are going to touch all these methods. We can also use the method of completing the square. Completing the square method, and we can also use a graphical method. Please, sorry about that awful smell. I guess a rat died somewhere and is hiding somewhere. Dr. Wise has tried searching for it this morning, cleaning up all those places, and he couldn't find it. So please, in case you're carrying rats to the school, we beg of you to stop for the safety of mankind. So please, probably mistakenly died in your bag. We can't tell because we have searched everywhere and we couldn't find it. So please, when you get home, wash your school bags. Those of you wearing those cross slippers and all stars and all that, please wash them. We can't tell where it's coming from. All right, so let's pretend like I've been pretending I'm not perceiving anything. So let's pretend we are not perceiving anything, please. And don't contribute to the smell already. So please. All right, these are the methods we can use in solving quadratic equations. So therefore, we are going to begin with the use of quadratic formula. But before that, let's see how we can deduce the formula. Let's prove the formula using the standard form of quadratic equation. To prove the formula for quadratic equation, we'll be using the method of completing the square. So therefore, I'm going to apply the method of completing the square here. Then we will get the quadratic formula. So in other words, quadratic formula and completing the square work hand in hand. But the good news is this: for any method you apply, you will get the same answer. Only and only if that equation cannot be factorizable. Not all quadratic equations can be factorizable. Not all. That is why mathematicians came up with other formulas. And this originated from Egypt. The etymology of mathematics equations started from Egypt. Numbering system started from Babylonian. Then theorems and proving of laws in mathematics started with the Greeks, which are the Athens. You can type it online. Babylonian contribution to mathematics, Google will give you. Egyptian contribution to mathematics, Google will give you. Nigerian contribution to mathematics, Google will give you. I'm serious. There are a lot of great mathematicians in Nigeria that have contributed so well to the study of maths, and we are one of them. All right. So let's begin. I will apply the method of completing the square to derive the quadratic formula, of which, if you are going to be offering mathematics in WAEC and further math in WAEC, you need to know this ideology. But for you TMA students, just the application is what is needed. I would oblige us to pay attention on how to apply completing the square method. Let's begin. Using completing the square method, I would make sure I write out each step involved. All right. I want to apply this method on the standard form of quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. This is the standard form of your quadratic equation. There must be the highest power of 2 on the unknown variable. A, B, and C are real numbers, but x is a variable. Let's start. Step 1. Take the constant to the left hand side. To the left hand side. Please, I've labeled it for us very well. Which of these parameters represents the constant? Thank you. Please be following it like that in case you want to do your own. So this is ax squared plus bx equals, as is crossing. Sorry, did I say left? Right hand side, pardon. Take the constant to the right hand side, okay? So when plus crosses, it becomes minus c. Please forgive me for that slip of marker. So we take the constants to the right hand side. All right. Step 2. See how easy it is. Even a child with a Down syndrome or Tourette syndrome would understand this with the way I'm explaining it. Step 2. Divide all through by the coefficient of x squared, that is, comma, the question of x squared now, what's the number there? A. See x squared, coefficient is the number by the side. So that is A. We want to divide all through step 1 by A. So this will be ax squared over A plus bx over A equals minus c over A. Then you divide where possible. A can divide A. So this slash out this. We are left with x squared plus B cannot divide A. So we leave it as B over AX equals minus C over A. They are not common. They can't divide. We are done with step 2. Now to step 3. Please, as you are writing, be knowing what to write in. You can write so I can maintain this part for the remaining steps. When I'm done with step 3 down here, I clean here to continue. So you can be writing. But understand the reason, purpose, and the methods you're applying.